Fog finally lifted enough, so there's actually a decent sunrise. Kind of surprised the camera's picking it up as well as it is. And it's freaking cold out. It's 35 degrees. Wasn't expecting that. I mean, okay, we had a 37 degree here, what, 3 weeks ago? Almost 4 weeks ago? It was before Ed was here, and he was here for 2, almost. So, yeah. Nice refreshing morning. Gets the sinuses and the eyeballs messed up first thing when you hit outside. So, yeah, the dogs are going, it's cold out, Dad. I want to be in the shop with you. Poor Red. He's just so spoiled. So is Blue. And then there's Whiskey. Oh my gosh, Whiskey is so spoiled it ain't funny. But you know who's not spoiled? When we turned around and, oh yeah, look at that. All these channels up here. I'm missing a few. Missing a lot actually, but you know, there's a few I'd like to have. Look who's not spoiled. She's in here to work. She will hold the floor down so that it doesn't move underneath my feet. And then I can get something done tonight, maybe. We'll see. At least it's warmer in here than it is outside, but I'm going to sneak over here and bump it up a little bit just because I can. Because if I can help it, I don't want to have my shirt on while I'm in here, or my coat on while I'm in here. Uh-oh. Come on. See, it's marked out so you can read it without having to try to read it over there. We keep it at 50 all the time, but I just had to bump it up to 65 to get it to come back on, and it's not 65 in here. It is 50 or better because the lights are on, except for the burnout ones. So I can tell you that much. And see what I can get done before number 1 shows up. Maybe we'll get her together today all the way. I don't know what they want to do. They've already been up for grain. You just can't decide if they want to go back out. But I figured I better get you a little bit if I'm standing around here, right? Not sure who the first one is against the gate there. But the second one, the bigger one, that should be the twins' mommy. And yeah, the one in the middle right there, that's Lena. And of course, Bam Bam on the other side of the fence, staring at her. I think Becky plans on trying to get a burn pile going today. You know, never got done last spring because when we normally would have burned, it was way too dry to think about it. And, you know, should be wet enough now. Especially being foggy this morning. Oh yeah, we threw the hay in here the other day, so they're into here too. Make it a little nicer for us for a little bit. Don't got to feed every single day feeding little bills. They might even make it till Saturday, I don't know. We'll find out. Forgot about the O-ring in there. That's for the breather tube. The old O-ring was really hard. RTV on the top of there. Gasket stuck good on here. Now the fun part. I'd show you, but I gotta have both hands, you know. And no, really, if you do hear anything in the background besides the furnace going or number 1 over there shuffling some Ziploc bags, trying to find one to put some parts in, you don't hear Jason Aldean. No, really you don't. But if you did, she turned it off. If you did, he was just taking the tractor for another round a couple minutes ago. Through the magic of video, it's on, snugged down. It'll get snugged down more later. And no, you don't hear Tim McGraw, Indian Outlaw in the background. Oh, then she shuts it off again right when I'm going to quit. I don't understand. And all the fun stuff like the breather tube. That's what the rag's covering because the new O-ring's in there and it's all lubed up good. I just got to remember where that frickin' tube goes for sure. I mean, I know where it goes. It goes through that hole down there. And it's a pain in the ass. I think I can put it in now before I do a bunch of other stuff, but I'm not sure. I got to see. And yeah, oh gee, we still got injectors to put into. What do you know? Imagine that. And they better clear since nothing's really changed. Same pistons that came out. Should all be the same. I still would like to check and see, make sure we got enough clearance for the injector tips. Possibly not the original tips, I don't know. You know, could be different injectors that are a little shorter. Not having everything for sure original, I don't know. After all, it had already been kitted. It was no longer a 4010 engine, it was technically a 4020 engine. They send 2 different gaskets for 2 different pans. This gasket's actually the right one because it comes out here. It's supposed to. That's actually what came off. But when I laid it on here, holes on that side lined up fairly close. Holes across here didn't. And this side were way off. As in, if I had them lined up over here to here, and then I tried to line these up, this was humped up about that high. I could stick my finger under it. That ain't a very good gasket. So, but they do send 2. And that one off. This one I'm assuming is probably for the 4020, which probably doesn't have the ears out here. It lines up. Hell of a lot better. So that's the one we'll be using. Made me come down and cut up part of this log for her. It was, I don't know, another 10 feet this way and another 10 feet the other way. She brought a freaking landscape rake down to put brush in with. You can't do that. You gotta have a pitchfork. So now she's going back up to get a pitchfork. Oh well, at least this fire's burning good and almost gone. It's noisy. I thought the gasket had been scraped off the bottom of the block before, but she cleaned it up. She just didn't get all the gasket off. So she's under there with the scraper now. That little air scraper's priceless, folks, let me tell you. It works really good. We've had it for, I don't know, 15 or 20 years. I'd show it to you, but I was going to show you the alternative. There's the alternative. And it works really good too. Sometimes you got to get this one out. But usually the air scraper works best. Just a little noisy. In here napping. I'll show you something. Hands on. I'll show you something else too. Hopefully you can see it. That bolt right there. We could not get this high enough to get that to line up, so I had to take a tap and run through there to actually cut threads into the pan piece and part way into the housing behind it. This one went in. Hi again. That little bastard didn't. I did the same thing with it with a tap, but the upper one went in. Don't know why they gotta be so stingy about that. But it's all there, and oh look, number 2 sending me a text. What do you know? We actually ended up with a jack right here, lifting the tractor up to try to get that close enough. That might explain why the other side was broken when we took it off. And I think part of it is the pan gasket we used is a little bit thicker. It seemed to be a little heavier, but it's in, filter's in, filter housing is all together as it should be. So I'm going to get up now. Hey, I think we're done for the night. That tube right there, when we took things apart, there was a little dampness, so it's epoxied back there. I didn't go to try to take that out and redo it because, how's it in there? Is it just a press fit? Or was it epoxied in? I have no idea. But, yeah, epoxied the whole frickin' thing because it had some pock marks in it. And I did my best. See if we can see a piston in there. Yeah, hey, you can see the top of a piston. Top dead center is top dead center for number 1 and number 6. This one's number 1. It's right there. I stuck a rod down there and did some measuring and read the paperwork again for the kit. And I'm just not sure with one seal washer on the injectors it's going to clear. And they say they recommend use 2. So the seal washers that were in there are all still in good shape. They're actually all still on the injectors. So that's where they're going to stay. And we're just going to drop the new ones in there and put it together. But that's going to be it tomorrow, I think. She finished cleaning the injectors up as good as they're going to get. And we're going to go from there. More lights around here than God knows what. Almost out of that. But then the only thing, I use that on radiator hoses because, but we got radiator hoses are back on, air intake is on, including their little, what they call that little pump right there. It's an air pump. It just pumps the case air into the intake. So yeah, makes you wonder why they got a blow-by tube on it. But oh yeah, alternator's on. So now number 1 knows how to put an alternator on a tractor. And we don't have the shutoff hooked up yet. I gotta teach her how to do that, but my fingers don't fit back here to hook that cable up very well. So probably have her do that before we put the injectors in, just because, I mean, it can be done after, but yeah, you know. And yeah, I know, open holes sitting there for another night, but we're not blowing a bunch of stuff around. Probably blow a little air in there before we do it anyway. So that's what we got going on. That's what we're doing. That's what we done. Bypass hose down here, she got hooked up already. Only hoses left are right here. And you like the looks of that sucker? It wasn't leaking, didn't show any sign of moisture, so we'll smear RTV on both of those and put that together. Excuse me. One thing about using RTV on stuff like this, when you tighten the clamp down, they'll push out because it's slick until it sets. So if you got time, what I like to do is just suck it down to where it's just starting to move and let it set. Then come back later and tighten it. If you don't have time, just tighten it down. But usually on a radiator hose, like down here, there's a rib all the way around that keeps that hose from sliding off, so it won't. This doesn't have it, but being cast, it gets a better grip. So they stay on good. Same thing up here. There's no rib on this end, but the other end's got a rib on it to keep it from coming off. So anyway, that's how far we are. It's ready to put oil in, ready to put fuel, the rest of the fuel system together. And if I'm here long enough tomorrow, we might be able to make her happen. But I gotta go with Mom in the morning into the insurance office, get stuff figured out there, get them straightened out so we're good for another 50 years or so, right? So anyway,
I'm gonna go home.
Damn it, I'm already home. I'd go home, but I'm stuck here. So thanks for watching, everybody. And she needs to put some tools away too, and some bolts. We put the pan gasket on the pan and let her set for an hour or so, and a little bit of RTV on the bolts. We put the bolts in to keep the holes lined up, because that's the smart thing to do. So, thank you all for watching.